guys, in today's video I'm going to be going over how I edit things for Instagram. This video was already edited for YouTube and there was voiceover work done, and I went ahead and deleted off the voice recordings, which are down here. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how I modify a video that is in format like this so that it can be uploaded to Instagram. Now, since I'm using Wondershare Filmora, this is one of the latest updates. I have a update to do right now, but I'm going to hold off on it because I wanted to get this filmed. See how there's like this little box right here in the bottom corner? I don't like that. So in order to get rid of that now, you have to move this in order to be able to see all of your video on your screen. And I absolutely hate that they did this. And I move it until I am just outside of that little box, because it stays there the entire time you're trying to edit, and it's annoying. All right, now if you look, there's a gray border around this, which again, if I wanted to get rid of the gray border, I'd have to keep moving it, and then of course that hateful little box comes back up. So again, we're going to move it just ever so slightly to get rid of it, so that way you can see the entire screen. Now for YouTube, videos have to be 9 by 16 or 16 by 9, and I'll show you how you do that. You go up to your file, preferences, project settings, and if you look, it says 16 by 9 widescreen, and I usually set my frame rates at 30. My camera records at like 29.85 or some garbage like that, so I just modify it to 30 frames per second. Now, in order to modify this for Instagram, because I'm using Wondershare Filmora, they have an option here, which is the 1:1 ratio, and it also says Instagram. For other platforms like Twitter, you could use the 4:3. That usually works a little bit better on Twitter. And if you're filming in portrait versus landscape, it also changes how you do things. So I'm going to go ahead and select 1:1. We're going to leave it at 30 FPS, and I'm going to hit OK. And if you look, it makes this box a whole lot smaller. So then you can come in and change this again so that you have a little bit more visibility on this area here. Now the video's already been edited so that it can, like, I cut out every time I look down or anything like that. But on Instagram, I don't leave my title video on here. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that and delete it. And here is where the look actually starts. Now, because if you look, all these boxes are gray. You can click on one and hit Control-Shift-M to unmute it, or you can just right-click it and it, has the mute button here. There is sound behind this, which is the air conditioner. Now, for this to work, right now we're still in the how I filmed it, which is a 16 by 9. You need to come to this little box right here and click that. And see how it's a 16 by 9, and you go down to 1:1, and then you can move this little box wherever. Usually I'll go through and drag this and watch and see if I stay in frame, and if you look, I just went out of frame. So I move it so that it's in frame, and then you can downsize it a little bit and then go back and rewatch, or you could just hit play, and this shows you what it will look like on the screen as it's playing once you export it. Now, if you want to get really close in, again, you have to be really careful with what is in frame and what isn't in frame. You can go to pan and zoom, where you start off at one spot and then zoom to this spot over here. It's a pain in the butt to do, so I'm going to leave it at this for right now. Now, the bad problem is I have to do this to every single clip. Now, if I had done this before I had edited out all the head turns and things like that, it would make this a little bit easier just to have it pre-done in the editor, and I'll show you that really quick. Let me get this one done. All right, I'm gonna come over here for a second. We're gonna grab the original video again. I'm gonna go ahead and mute it so you don't have to worry about listening to it. But this is how much dead space there is, just to give you an idea. There's where I'm first applying it. So if we go back, and then you can use your arrow buttons to move one frame at a time. This is where you hit Control B, or you can split it with this little cut feature here. This entire piece right here is dead. So why leave it in? So I would cut that out. Now, let's go through the next part. And sorry about the squeaky chair. I leaned back too far the other day and broke it. I have a new chair coming with my dad's brand new computer I just built for him. Of course, he paid for both of them. So that should be here sometime this week. And then I'm going to stop it right where I normally would when I stop editing, which would be right here. And then Control B again to cut that piece. And then, of course, you see the side of my head, and I'm looking for things, and I'm looking at it to make sure it looks the way I want it to. And then, of course, I'm hunting for something else. This is all the stuff that I cut out when I do editing for YouTube. Every time you see, well, like, look, the camera's focusing at the door. And I'm going to let this go until it comes back up where I'm going to be using the next part. Okay, whoa, here. And I went a little too far ahead. You use your arrow buttons to go back. You can slide it, but sometimes sliding it, you go a little bit too far. I want to go back just... There we go. Now, this chunk here, if you look, we're at 16 minutes. Let me go back to the beginning of it. 15 minutes and 32 seconds. So there's 28 seconds right here. Right here. That's me hunting for something. Why leave that in a video? So again, I would delete that piece out. Now, some people, they cut those and put them at the end of their project and go through and look for funny things and whatnot. I don't really do that. It takes a whole lot of time to do that, and I have not been well. I don't know how well my voice is going to hold up in this video, just for the simple fact that I have spent literally all weekend unable to breathe because my father has been burning. Now, the next part of this that I want to show you, so since I've showed you how I usually cut the original video to this, oh, and that was one thing I could have showed you. Let me go back over here and drag this video back down. This is filmed in 16:9. Before you edit, if you want, you can come over here and go ahead and click the 1:1 ratio, and it automatically changes it. And then you edit from there. So this is where I was going before. I get a little ahead of myself. So before you edit and make your cuts and cut out all the dead space and the dead air and whatnot, and all that kind of fun stuff, you can edit this automatically by doing this, by cutting it down to the 1:1 ratio with this pan and zoom feature, which is right here. Well, that's the crop feature, but you know what I mean. Anyways, so going back over here. Now, this is 13 minutes and 15 seconds long. Nobody on Instagram is going to watch that, period. Nobody. So what you do is you come here. I'm going to go to the time and duration, which is the speed. And this has like presets here that you can use, or you can do a custom speed. I'll show you that. Hello? Oh, there we go. And you can customize this speed however you like. I'm going to just do 2 times speed. Sometimes I do 4 times. And then this clip right here, I want to show you. Starts about 12 seconds in, goes to 24 seconds. So there's 12 seconds that it's already cut off the video. Now for this one, I'm going to come here and come where it comes back in focus, just to show. There we go. I'm going to cut this and cut that out, just to show just a small amount of me putting on the base. Make sure it stays in frame the entire time. And then I'm gonna come over here where you're not looking at my forehead. And we're gonna make a cut, and we're gonna cut this piece out as well. So basically they see that I'm using concealer, and then here they get to see, you know, that I'm gonna blend back up at that line. And then there's the next clip. This is one of those Terramone shadows. Those things are so awful. I just, oof. Now with this, I wish there was a way that I could edit some of these clips in bulk. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Again, just making sure that you stay in frame. So you can grab a whole bunch of these frames, but there's only certain things you can do. You have a cut feature, you have a speed feature, you have delete, you know, undo, that kind of thing. You can't do this feature when you select multiple frames. You have to do this frame or section by section. So that's where a lot of the work comes in when you are editing something for Instagram, is going through segment by segment, making sure that everything fits in frame. Everything is done just so. And then of course you watch everything back. And I do speed everything up at least ×2. It depends on timing, how much time things took. This shade was really hard to work with, so I ended up working with it for quite a bit. And then I just have to go back and remember to click literally every frame and do this. Now, I don't mess with the color or saturation or any of that kind of stuff. I don't have a blurring feature that I use, and I'll show you how to get to that. Now, because we have, let me select this one because it's the one we're looking at. In order to get to those, there's a couple of different things. You could click on edit and it pulls the window up. And then you have like all of these video features. These are the two that are always selected. I don't mess with any of them. Here's your audio where you can do your increase or decrease in decibel level. You can change the pitch to make something higher or lower. You can remove background noise. Usually when the air is on, I'll click this and then put it at mid. And I also have to increase the volume of me with the removing background noise because it does change and it makes me sound a little tinny when I do that. This is where the color features are on here, and you can always change and select things. You can make things different. Then you have like different motion features, like things that come in and then bounce out of the screen, or things that come in and they zoom in really big. So you see really, really up close work, and then it zooms back to normal size. That's what this does. Now, if I go back to color, see how there was an advanced feature here? You can click that. I don't mess with any of this stuff ever. I just really don't like to. And this is where you can change some of the other colorations to this. Or you can click adjust, and then you have all of the other different things down here that you can change. Uh-oh, I hit something. I'll have to X out of it. This is why I don't mess with any of this stuff, because sometimes just scrolling turns things on. So you can really like change the coloration. Look at this. You go from a hot pink shadow. Whoops. Look at what it did. You can like change the saturation of certain parts of your eye looks just by moving various sliders. So when I say that I don't edit my videos, this is what I mean. I don't go through and do any of this stuff because I don't see the point in it. And then you just, if you don't want to save that, you just X out of it. And there's always a reset button right there. So that's one way to get into this. The other way is when you have a video clip, if you look, there's a white border on this. If you double click it, it brings up the edit feature as well. And it's just a double left click. We'll pull this up so you can see what's going on with it. You also have this color option here. Hello? Oh, there you are. And that does the same thing. This changes like the warmth or the coolness of a video, and then of course you have all those adjustment sliders again. So there's a couple of different ways you can get into each of these things. I don't have a green screen, and because I do not film on a green screen, if you click that, it'll yell at you. So unless you have a green screen, don't click it. I don't know how to use green screen. I've never tried to mess with it. I don't have the capabilities of green screen. I would have to order like backgrounds and stuff in order to film on to do that. And I don't see the point in spending the money to do that in order to learn how to do fancy backgrounds and stuff when, you know, a background is a background. I know that I do not have a aesthetically pleasing background. I'm in the bathroom filming. I literally only have a couple of places in my house that I can film that have light enough to do it, because even in broad daylight, a lot of this house is super dark. Like walking through the rooms, if you don't know where the furniture is, you will be cussing because your poor pinky toe will find every coffee table leg and couch and chair and everything. So I film in very specific locations due to the lack of light in this house. It is also not my house. So unless I can ever afford to move out from my father's house or move in with somebody else, there is no way for me to film other locations. That's why I was like filming in the yard and filming on the porch and, you know, trying to film in different locations because I knew people didn't like my background. But when you're homeless and you live somewhere by the grace of somebody else, you kind of can't be picky about where the hell you film. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's get a couple more of these done. I have to edit this for Instagram anyways. Okay, that one's done. I'm going to show you a couple of other ways that make things a little bit easier. or at least for me, they're easier. I am definitely not a like fancy video editor. All right, now that we've got up to here done, I'm going to zoom this in. This does your zoom. This one here renders your playback so that it is smoother to watch. This is your playback render features, whether it's half, full, quarter, eighth, or 16th. I just do full. You have your microphone settings where you can record a voiceover. You can also do that up here where you can record a voiceover, your PC screen or webcam. I'm using another program to record this. In order to use your PC screen or record your screen, the microphone volume option kind of goes away for this program. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm using Streamlabs, which is over here, to record this. So that's why, you know, whatever. And you can see what I've got open at the bottom of my screen. I really don't care if you know that I play a video game randomly throughout the day. This is something that's cute and it's simple, and I pop in and out and do things with it while I'm working. Now you have other like features and stuff up here. This one here takes this button right here with the double arrows inside the rectangle. What that does is it takes your project and fits it to like what you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. See how it filled in the extra gray space back here? Now, if you want to look at this even closer, you can hit the plus sign and zoom it in, or you can also hit the slide bar. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take all of these and do them times 2 up to where my current marker is. And I'll show you why I'm doing that. I would have sped this up anyways, at least times 2. Hello? Give me that back. Mine. Now, if you look, there's all these little gray spaces in here, and you can do one of 2 things. You can take this and hit your delete button on your keyboard, and it merges the 2 clips. Or you can grab a clip, select it, and drag it over. And hello? It does this sometimes. It thinks you double clicked it when you didn't. And see, watch the green line. See how there's still space, and it's showing you where it's touching another video frame? You can go over that. And then you get this lovely green box. So that other green box is kind of not so nice. It kind of cuts the video clip in half and then puts the video clip you were dragging in the middle of it, and it's a pain in the butt. Now, this is how much space minus the little piece I had in here that I went ahead and deleted out. This right here shows you exactly how much space I'm cutting out. So if you want, you can come here and look. We're at 1 minute and 12 seconds on this end and 44 seconds on this end. So you're saving, let's see, 35, 34 seconds right there. The project is up here. Whoa, hello? Get back up here. The project is up here. It tells you that the entire project is 11 minutes, 46 seconds, and 27 milliseconds, right? I'm going to go ahead and delete out this green box right here. Watch what that does. So we went down to 11 minutes and 18 seconds. I want to get this number under 10 minutes, preferably shorter than that. So you have to go through every clip, resize it for Instagram, which is here. I usually do this. This is a zoom in feature here where you're like making it the frame. So I have to go through every clip and zoom them in, crop out the extra stuff, make sure it's a 1:1 ratio, and speed it up and delete out the dead space. Then once I get all of that done, I come back and I come up here to titles. I have 2 that are like the favorites that I use all the time. So I'm going to grab, hello, there we go. I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to double click it. And I'm going to put what palette I was using. Now, because that's a little bit long, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter and move that. Now, while this is still selected, or when it's not selected, you can take this and grab it and drag it somewhere. And I try and keep it where it's not technically in the outside border, so that way you can still see it. And if you play it through, that wording isn't going to cover up what I did, unless I intentionally wanted it to do that. This way they know what's going on, what I'm using, that kind of thing. And then I'm not going to put down what concealer it was. The other thing I do, which is one of the last steps I do, oh, I'll show you is I come down here to my music. This is either music provided by Wondershare or it's music that I downloaded off of YouTube, which is free to use from YouTube. And I click stuff until I like what I hear. I could listen to this kind of music all day. This sounds really awesome. Like a movie trailer kind of thing. The epic sci-fi trailer is also awesome as well. Okay, I like that. Because this is kind of a retro look anyways. Now, when I pull a song down, I just grab it and pull it. You could also hit the plus sign and it drops it. I look at how much dead space is back here, and I play it until I feel satisfied with where it's at. And then I make sure the clip is selected, then you hit your X. Now, if you don't have this selected, it'll put a splice here as well, and you don't want that. So I delete off the dead space. And then I listen back to see exactly how loud it is, because make sure my volume's at the max. That should be okay. It's not too loud, but I find a lot of times when people put music in a video, let me find something. Okay, there's a good example. Let me grab this one. I'm going to show you. See how this is all about the same decibel level here? Wait for this one to load in and I'll show you the difference. See how this goes really up high? So when a listener goes from, let me merge these two. This is what I absolutely detest about most YouTubers, is they don't take the time to do this. You'll go from this, not too loud, not too quiet, to this. And they're like, oh my God. Now, what I do to combat that is you can double click this and you come here and you put -6. And if you look, it drops it below that bar, so it's not so jolting anymore. So again, you'll go from this. It's still a little loud in my opinion, but that just shows you that I try and do this because the fact that I don't want to blast anybody's eardrums out when they're watching my video. And I don't know how many times I've been watching somebody's video and they'll pop an intro clip in, or they'll do music behind something, and it's so loud it startles me out of my damn chair. Now this is still a little loud, so usually I'll do like -2 or -3, so it's not quite as loud. You hear the difference? Now, because this video clip is here, I'll show you what one of the problems is doing a sound clip with a video clip. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up ×2. I'm not going to size it right now. Now, usually I would hit delete and it would delete that out. Sometimes when you have another clip underneath of it or even above it, it goes nope. So if I grab this clip up here and put it here, wait for it to load in. I resize this to ×2, and then I go to delete that space out. Sometimes it does not want to like merge the two clips together, and I find that that is kind of an issue with Wondershare. They've been getting better lately about getting that done, where you can just delete out the extra stuff and it merges whatever the line is. It like pushes it down a little bit closer, so you don't have to worry about moving each and every individual clip from your video. I know I've been rambling on. How many minutes I've been doing this? 20, almost 30 minutes. Okay. So when I edit this, I will end up editing this and then speed it up 1.2 times so that I am talking a little bit faster. It also cuts down on the video size and speed of the video. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, Wondershare is what I use 99.9% of the time. I hate using iMovie because I have a PC, not a Mac. I do have an iPhone, but editing on your iPhone, there are a lot of features that you cannot use on iMovie that you can use even on like my iPad. I also have had other video editing software, but it was so frustrating to use it, and it's 10 times harder for me to use it than this program. When I found this one, I was like, oh buddy, I jumped at the chance to get it. I would recommend, if you are learning editing, if you want to buy the Wondershare program, I will leave the links to it in the description box. I don't think I have an affiliate code. If it is affiliated, I'll put an asterisk next to it. But don't just buy the 1-year license for $40. Buy the lifetime license. If you don't use it, then you don't use it. But if you do want to use it further on down the line, you have access to it. And it's like double the price. So you get 1 year for $39.99, or you get lifetime for $59.99. And it makes more sense to me, and it's more cost effective to go ahead and spend the extra money to get a lifetime license for Wondershare. They also have other features that you can sign up for, like film stocks and things like that. And if you want, I can do another video about that at another time. This is just a video based on how I edit for Instagram. So hopefully this is helpful. Any questions, please leave it down below. I am not perfect when it comes to editing. I don't know all the tips and tricks. I know there's a lot of features that I don't know how to do or use that others probably would be able to explain a little bit better as to, you know, what and how I edit. This is just an example of what works for me and what is easy for me. I am one of those people that is work smart, not hard. If I can find an easy workaround on certain things and it's still effective and gets the job done and does it well, I will use it. I am not one to like cheapskate my work where it comes around to you're trying to get something done fast and you end up screwing yourself in the end and the work doesn't end up being that good. I'm the one that can super multitask and have like a dozen things going on at once and not skip a beat. I don't get overwhelmed very easily, and I have worked in a very fast-paced environment most of my life. I'm used to having 2 or 3 or 4 different things going on at once and being able to juggle everything and keep them all, you know, working well. That's just how I am. You know, also having ADHD, I do get distracted by shiny things, hence the video game that's open right here. That's super easy, quick to play. I can pop in and out and do things on it and then pop back because I do have those shiny moments and I do get distracted. So that's my way of having something I can distract myself with for a few seconds. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta get back to work. So hopefully this is helpful. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I will see you in another video very soon. Have a fantastic day or night, wherever you are. Bye.